With a strong community of free people of color, and also jobs in the maritime industry and in other occupations, Boston becomes a haven for men and women who have escaped from slavery. They can come here, they can become part of this community, they can join the churches, they can be part of this thriving network of men and women on the North Slope of Beacon Hill. Then in 1850, as part of a series of compromise measures, Congress passes the Fugitive Slave Act. And this gives the federal government the power to recover men and women who have escaped from slavery wherever they are. Now, initially, when the law is passed, the community on the North Slope of Beacon Hill can protect the men and women who are harbored here. And in 1851, Shadrach Minkins is apprehended in Boston. Lewis Hayden, who had escaped from slavery in Kentucky, forms a group called the Vigilance Committee, which frees Minkins from the federal courthouse, staging a rescue of this man who was going to be returned to slavery and then spiriting him off to Canada. Boston could no longer be the stopping point on the Underground Railroad. It could only be a way station, a place where people could wait before they were allowed to find freedom under the British flag. In 1854, Anthony Burns, who had escaped from slavery in Virginia, is living in Boston, and he is apprehended in Boston, and this time the federal government wants to make sure he is not rescued. The federal government wants to make sure it can show that the law will be enforced, even in Boston. Even in a place that doesn't like the Fugitive Slave Act, someone who has escaped from slavery can be returned to it. So the federal marshals are called out, and actually Thomas Cass and the Columbian Guard, an Irish militia unit, are summoned to escort Anthony Burns from the courthouse down to his ship on the T Wharf just north of Long Wharf. He is marched down State Street in the shadow of the old State House in Faneuil Hall. People hung their American flags upside down and draped their houses with black bunting to show their disapproval of what was being done as Anthony Burns is being taken from the cradle of liberty and put on a steamship to be returned to slavery. The rendition of Anthony Burns in 1854 is one of the signal moments, showing people in Boston, those who were not committed to the institution of slavery nor to the anti-slavery movement, that the federal law about slavery would prevail even in Boston, that the reach of slavery extended even into this free state. White people in Massachusetts, white people in Boston who knew they could never be enslaved might not have thought about the institution of slavery till they saw a man being snatched from the streets of Boston and under the American flag escorted back into slavery. That the institution of slavery was not a local institution. It could only exist with complicity from people in the cradle of liberty of Boston.